Corvo, if only there was someone else I trusted to send, so that you could remain near. But there is no one else, and the Spy Master was right to insist that I send you. The plague has taken so many, and we must find a cure. When you are near, my heart is at peace. Emily and I will count the days until you return. Hurry home, and bring good news.
Welcome to a video walkthrough of the first level of Dishonored, courtesy of the Gamer Post. I'll be walking through this with you today. We're going to be taking a look at a couple of the different aspects that you can take through in terms of the actual gameplay itself, whether you take the silent approach or whether you take a kind of a bit of a more aggressive approach. So starting off, here we go. So we've got a drop down, we've got this nice little cutscene here. Introduces you to essentially the world that you'll be spending all your time in, through a lovely little reveal. You're just heading through. There is also, just as a note, a bit for people who maybe want to have a look at how things are done, but maybe want to skip through the more spoiler-centric cutscenes and things, and there's a place for that, and I will put annotations and things where they're needed, and you'll be duly notified in enough time to be able to skip them. So this bit here, you've only got control of your kind of head at this point. You're just kind of a passenger just watching. It's just trying to introduce you to what the world of Dishonored.
The Empress will be waiting for your news, Corvo.
Okay, now we have control of our character. The first thing we want to do is get off the boat. I'm going to wait for Mr. Man here to do so. Now run around him and head straight outside.
Yes, yes.
From here, we will run into... Check out those guys. And we'll run into...
Corvo, you're back!
Emily.
Will you tell me about your trip, please? Were there any whales? Wait! Let's play hide and seek first. I'll cover my eyes and you hide. Do you have time? Mother's busy talking to that nasty old spy master.
Okay, now's the point where I should mention this takes you to a really useless tutorial where you just hide around the corner for a bit, so we'll skip that.
Welcome home, Lord Protector.
We rejoin just afterwards.
Stop moving, Campbell. And you, Corvo, welcome back. Wherever you've been. They sent him all around the Isles to beg for aid. A waste of time. My elixir will banish the plague from this city. Now keep still a moment, High Overseer Campbell.
Okay, so taking a quick second just to head up some stairs just to the left of us, so we'll just zip up there.
They're sick people, not criminals.
We've gone beyond that question, Your Majesty.
They're my citizens, and we will save them from the plague if we can. All of them.
Very well.
We will not speak of this again.
Mother, Corvo is back.
Thank you, Emily. Leave us, please.
As you wish, Your Majesty. Corvo. 2 days early. Full of surprises, as usual.
Okay, so anyone looking to avoid spoilers, click the annotation now.
It's a fair wind that brings you home to me.
Follow me,
What news
Captain.
have you brought?
We should leave them alone.
I hoped that one of the other cities had dealt with this before, knew of some cure. This news is very bad. We're at the breaking point. Cowards. They're going to blockade us. They'll wait to see if the plague turns the city into a graveyard.
Are you okay, Mother? You seem sad.
Yes, don't worry, darling. Mother is fine. Wait, where are the guards? Who sent them away?
Mother, look. What are they doing on the rooftop?
Okay, so now we have coming up here a quick combat tutorial, and this takes you through kind of your basic attacks and blocking.
Emily, get behind me! Look out! Another one! Corvo, thank you. If you hadn't been here... No more! Not again!
Mommy!
No! Get away from her! Corvo!
Oh, Mommy! Get away! Corvo!
Corvo, it's all coming apart. Find Emily. Protect her. You're the only one who'll know what to do. Won't you? Corvo.
Ward us all. Look at what he's done.
Yes, he's killed the Empress. What did you do with young Lady Emily, traitor?
Her own bodyguard. Ironic.
I'll see you beheaded for this, Corvo. Take him.
This is your final chance, Corvo. Sign the confession, and let me give you the rights to put your spirit at ease.
That's enough for now. Get out. Let's give the man some time to think. Corvo, the Empress is dead. Her daughter Emily is hidden away, and no one will ever know the truth.
Yes, unlucky you. Tomorrow you'll be executed, but it's for a good cause. This country needs strong leadership now, someone to guide the weak. And that's where we come in.
There was nothing personal in this, even though you almost sank our plans. But it turned out well. You were in the wrong place at the right time, and someone has to take the fall. Goodbye, Corvo. Guards! Take him back to his cell.
And welcome back anyone who was avoiding the spoilers there. We now return, and this is the coming up now to the first part where we actually get to take some proper stealth gameplay and actually try and, well, give the game a bit of a test run, really. So coming up here, the first thing you'll want to do is obviously take this meal here. So we'll eat the bread, then we'll have a quick read of the anonymous message. Obviously you can take more time to read through it. Take the key, and break out. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is probably press the C key or your crouch button if you're using a gamepad, and start to take on a more stealthy approach. Take the coins and the sword on the table, and then we're going to instantly head around here. Now we've got one of two choices here. We can take the lethal approach, which will see us after a quick tutorial pop up, and we'll close. We can see we'll take him down nice and easy. Instantly come back, make sure everything's all right here. They haven't noticed us.
Come see the noble Lord Protector get his head chopped off.
Okay, so then we're going to come around, sneak up on him, get him stabbed in the neck, and slice him up a bit. If he's not quite done, obviously just go in for a nice finish off. From there will actually probably be a guy that's seen you up on the top. He's up on the balcony. He's just thrown a rock at me there. You'll get another little pop-up about leaning. You use your Q and E keys if you're a PC, or if you're using a gamepad, I believe you can press Y, or you hold down a button and use your analog stick. So then you head out here, pick up a pistol, and you head on. So the non-lethal approach would be to get this guy, use your left control or your non-lethal approach to choke him.
see the
Then with a
noble Lord
non-lethal
Protector
approach,
get
you'll
his
probably
head
want to be
chopped
picking the bodies up and actually moving them around a bit to avoid detection, as you're going to be wanting people not to be alerted. So go and hide him in a dark corner. It is a good point to say that darkness in Dishonored works a bit differently to most stealth games. It won't make you invisible at short range. Darkness only works if you have distance. But still, once these guys finish chatting and they separate, give him a choke. Go and carry him as well, and take whatever he's got. Check the balcony, make sure there's no dude up there, because he will see you. Throw him in a dark space. Then you're going to instantly head around to where these pillars are. Now, you get the leaning around corners technique again. And this time we're actually going to use that, so we're just going to lean around the corners, just going to keep checking that, make sure he's walking past. Saws. Lean up on him, give him a choke as well. Let him drop. Pick him up and throw him in a dark place. And then of course we'll head out the window again, or head out the door, sorry, just as usual. Pick up our pistol, get our health and be on to the next bit. Okay, so coming up from here, we've then got a little bit teaches you how to climb. And that's easy, it's just pressing your jump key or your jump button. And we'll come through, we'll eat a bunch of stuff. We'll pick up some ammo there on the side. Pick up some coins, some more elixir. No point picking up swords. Well, you can't anyway. There's no notes over there, but there is some more coins on the counter there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to open this door and we're going to instantly see another guard. Now the best thing to do is he's not really going to turn around, so you've got yourself a couple of seconds here. You just want to go and give him a straight choke, or if you're taking a lethal playthrough, I haven't done both options for this, but if you're doing a lethal playthrough, obviously just give him a stab in the face. And then throw him somewhere where people aren't going to likely to... Well, throw him anywhere. It's probably better to throw him in that corner there. I didn't in the video, but it's probably better to throw him in that corner if you're looking to keep him out of the way. Okay, so heading down the walkway, we'll obviously just open the door using the key that we just picked up. And we're now in a yard walkway. Okay, so we're going to go down there, but first we'll pick up a couple of coins. Coins are very useful for buying things within the game. Ammunition, things like that.
Attention. The solitary wing
Okay, so we're going to walk down here, and there's actually going to be a guy over there. So what we'll do is he's going to take a moment here, just a step. I think he's having a lovely day. We're going to give him a choke, obviously for taking a lethal playthrough. Give him a stab in the face. And then we'll just throw him back here where it's a bit darker. Okay, now this bit's really dark, and the best thing I found to do here is just follow that light. And then once you find that light's dropped off the top of your screen, turn 180 and follow the railings. I don't know if it's just something to do with the darkness of my screen or whether it's the game, but that's generally, yeah, how dark it was. Okay, so we're in the interrogation room where we just were. And yeah, so this is now empty. You can wander around here and do what you like. Have a quick read of the officer's report if you want to. I'm not going to for the sake of the video. And also listen to the audiograph player. They're really crucial to the story, and they do actually make out some good information on the game. Okay, so we've got a bottle here that teaches you to throw to distract things. Also another thing to read here, which is just a bit of random literature. What we're after is the explosives in the safe. So now we've got the explosives. We've got a journal read through, which I will just quickly skip through as fast as we can. That teaches you all about the journal. Okay, and now we can head straight back out to where we were. And we'll head straight across to the yard. Okay, now once again we're going to take the two approaches to this. So the lethal way of doing this is to wait until they've both stopped, pull out your weapons, give yourself a good stance, shoot him in the head, and slice him up, making sure he's finished. Nice quick encounter. There is only two of them in this one, so you can just run through, and the stairs and where your exit is just outside here. Okay, so going for a non-lethal approach, we want to actually head behind here and head behind this pillar. And whilst they're stopped and talking, we're just going to move around in the shadows, and we're just going to take stops at each individual place. Now, they probably, if you're not quick enough, you probably will get one of those. So that means the guards just kind of spotted you, but you can stand having up to one. So if they've got one set of lightning bolts around their head, that's not too much of a problem. It's when they've got two that's an issue. So we're just going to keep sneaking around here, and what we're going to do is we're actually not going to kill anyone in this section here. We're just going to keep walking around. We'll head around the back of this container, skip, whatever it is. It's a bit too dark to make it out. He's next to us once as well, but we can stand that, as I said. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure that that guy at the opposite end isn't looking straight at us, because what we're going to do is the key that we want is on the guy that stood nearest to us. So we're just going to make sure the other guy's not really looking. And we're going to steal the key. And we're just going to head straight up the stairs. And we can head up the stairs with a certain safety that we won't be spotted. Okay, so here's the next section. And the next section you can do lethally or non-lethally. I didn't do both of them, but lethally it's just a case of you just need to attack and go for it. But the best approach to this I've found in terms of actually doing the game is to wait here until they've stopped talking. Now you can take the coins on the side. I didn't for the sake of that, but just run in, run straight behind him, choke him. And you can generally leave the bodies where they are. I might move it in this. I'm not sure if I did or not, but I don't think I did, no. So you can generally leave them as you're going to move up here quite quickly. So you look through the keyhole here. That's really crucial to check where this guy in the next room is. And once he's turned his back, you want to come out, open the door, run straight in, and choke him. I, for some reason, pulled out my weapons instead of choking him. I'm not sure why I did that. Maybe I was going to take a bit more of a lethal approach. Here we go, and this takes us straight to the control door. So you can take the lethal approach and kill everyone in the room, but I find it's generally easier for your gameplay if you just do it like that. So you want to jump out of that window, wait until he's turned back, hide behind that barrier, wait for the door to fully open and lean. Because you'll notice there's a guy at the top of the stairs now, so you don't want to come and choke this guy straight away because he will notice you. So what you do is you wait until he's walked past, you just run behind that guy and wait for a second. Now you come back, then you choke him because the other guy is out of view. You quickly pick him up, you throw him in a dark space behind a wall so no one can see him. And now you want to be very careful that that door is still open. There is a guy still walking and he will still see you, so you've got to be really quick. And it's best to hug the wall when you're doing this. So you don't want to walk on the opposite side where, let's say, the banister is or anything like that. You want to stay straight to the wall. And if you stay straight to the wall, then usually the guy's around here. Now I actually made a big mistake here and he was actually behind me. So I had to take the other thing, but here's a nice point where I can show you the gruesome decapitation executions. So I made his head roll. Luckily no one else spotted me. But yeah, so that's that. Okay, so we'll loot that. And then we'll run back down. And the best thing to do, now you're going to want to do this. This is a really good tip here. So you're going to run down here before setting the explosives and use that switch and close the door. That is going to buy you valuable time. Not that you're going to need a whole deal of time if you've been following this, but it will buy you any time you need. Right, so what you're going to do now is you're going to plant the explosives, or you're going to run. You're going to run back to where that switch was. And you're just going to sit in your crouch. Now, as soon as that explosion's gone off, run towards the door and use your left shift or your sprint button to sprint, jump off and just dive straight in the water. There will be plenty of guards that come to chase you, but if you've done that and you set it all up properly, they've got to open the door first. It buys you plenty of time. And you could, if you're doing a no detection run through, that will give you that no detection bonus. Okay, so coming up here now, we're now in the sewers. So now the goal is to escape the sewers. So we're just going to run up to a door here, and once we get to the door, we will just quickly zoom through and we'll be on the other side. So here we go. So now we're on the other side of the door. And so the first thing we'll see is we'll see a gate and we'll see a bunch of boxes. There's a note on there, you can read the note, take the food. Now that gate is locked, you can't get through there. So you have to jump up on these boxes and go up or above. Now this is a very good moment here where it's teaching you something very clever about the gameplay. First off, that you can't run through items. Secondly, these are the rats. You just saw them down there, and as you walk along here, these doors are going to open, and now you're going to get to see some very, very, very lovely gameplay footage of two men being devoured by a couple of rats. Okay, so after you've watched them get devoured by rats, because let's face it, we want to watch that. We've now learnt that rats are dangerous, so you want to avoid those as much as possible. So you're going to drop down this side, and it's alright, it's barred off, you're fine. And you're just going to head around this way. So you're going to head down into the proper sewer complex. Now, first thing you're going to be greeted across here is rats. Now, instead of trying to panic and find a way around them and run down, jump in the water and swim to the edge. Or swim to the end, sorry. There is virtually no need to encounter those rats. You can just swim straight to the end. Where this light is, you just want to climb up around here. Now, it is very dark around this section, so that you probably are likely to make a few mistakes unless you've got your brightness set higher. I know I certainly made a few mistakes recording this video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the corpse, we'll throw him to a side because he's blocking our use of the wheel. Now, it's teaching us here the use of a wheel mechanic and how it takes time for us to hold. It's also taught us about the rats, and there we go, I just fell down a hole. Trying to head for the door because it's really dark, so what we'll do here, we're just going to head out. This is the bit where I get slightly confused. I'll try and swim back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this moment to show you that that is not the way to go. There we go, that's what we'll do to make that about. And so we're back at our light. We'll just run along, climb back up the stairs, back to where our body was. And we'll notice that there's just a small hole on the floor there, and we'll just hop over it. Okay, so we're going to run up these planks of wood, along these crates, past the sign, and through here. And this is going to teach us something very clever now. So we can see in this room we've got a few bodies that are being thrown down, and we've got a wheel there in kind of the bottom left. Well, now just the left-hand side. So we're not going to want to touch the floor, but obviously we're going to need to make that wheel turn. Now, we haven't actually got any of the powers yet that you get in Dishonored, so we're just going to have to take a quick run. I'm going to have to hop onto objects as much as possible. So you want to jump across, you want to do that, and follow the boxes and rocks. Now, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to pick up these, and we're going to have to use these guys as sacrifices. So we're trying to sacrifice the first one, that didn't really work, so I'll take the second one, make sure he's thrown clearly on the floor, and we'll watch the rats flock to him like ants on a Snickers bar. Throw a second one down just to make sure they're kept busy, and whilst they're kept busy, we'll turn this wheel, go, and then you want to instantly head straight over those barrels and move on. You don't want to really be hanging around at that point. So now we're going to be taken here, and we're going to learn about climbing chains. Now, not before taking a quick bite of a rat, just as some nice poetic justice. So we'll climb up this chain here. We're told that we can drop off with F key, or whatever button that corresponds to, and we can use our spacebar to jump off. And whatever jump button it is on there. Now, this is a good lesson about triggers. Now, these are traps purposely set up to hurt you. Now, you can trigger them using the F key, or whatever key that corresponds to, but that generally ends up with you getting hurt anyway. Now, jumping over them is easier said than done, and as you can see there, I royally screwed that up. I believe it is possible to jump over that one, but anyway, moving on, we now get our supplies. And this is our nice crossbow and fancy sword. So the first thing we want to do when we got that is just open up and close down the journal really quickly for you, and then we're getting told that we can actually access the quick access wheel. Now that is just hold down the middle mouse button and move your mouse around if you're on PC, and obviously whatever buttons that will correspond to on your game pads. But yeah, so first thing we're going to do is get rid of that and throw that body away. For no particular reason, he just seemed like he was in the way. So now we want to head to the other side. We want to head there, pick up some random ingredients and some coins, and then we're going to head over here. And there's nothing to do with this, however we can head through this door. Okay, so I'm going to head through the door. I'm going to learn that we can sprint, slide under the triggers. So certain triggers that are of a certain height, you could sprint, press your crouch or sneak button, and then you could just sneak straight through. Okay, so there's also a safe there with combinations. Now you'll find the numbers for those dotted around. There's probably, you know, a journal entry with them on, or a note that's laying around the place with them on. I'll let you figure out those. That's part of the game. If I went around telling you where all the secrets were and things, it'd probably take away a lot from the gameplay experience. But we are going to notice here that we've got some wood that kind of bars the way. Now, as I struggle to get back up here, I'm just going to climb across this plank to get onto the other side. I'm going to follow the light, and I'm going to head to where these red lights are and jump up. Now, this next bit coming up is another lethal / non-lethal moment. We're just going to have a quick look over here, and just going to pick up some stuff. So we've got a bottle here that we can make a distraction with if we wanted to. We're not going to in this case. We're going to put away our weapons, quicker movement, and we're going to go for a lethal playthrough first. We're going to drop down onto this rock, and there's another bottle there for the last opportunity to try and distract someone. As the first guard leaves the second guard, we're going to assassinate the second guard. Okay, now he has no idea we've just done that, and the other guy is dark enough. If you're doing lethal playthroughs, you're not really going to be fussed about hiding bodies too much. Now what we're going to do is we're going to follow him cleverly here until we fall in the water. Now once we've fallen in the water, we'll pick him up, we'll get him, and then this will show us that we've actually got quite a few people on us. So we'll send a crossbow flying into his stomach, we'll deal with him, we'll assassinate him, and then we'll just hack at him until he dies. So that's one way of doing it, and that generally has cleared the room quite effectively. Now the non-lethal playthrough takes much of the same approach. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump down here. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to put away our weapons at this point, and we're going to drop down, and we're going to do a similar kind of assassination. We're going to wait for these guys, obviously Officer 1 to leave Officer 2, and what we do is we're going to do a drop non-lethal assassination. Now you will take some falling damage for this. Unfortunately they reward you for assassinating from high positions with it, but there's only a small amount of health that you lose through doing that. So we'll just drop down, we'll choke him, and then obviously in the interest of being more stealthy, we'll hide him in a dark corner. So now we're going to run along. We're actually going to follow this more directly this time. This is probably the route you should take when you're doing a lethal playthrough as well. I forgot there was water in this bit of the scene here, but we're going to follow him just to make sure we don't see him. We're going to walk across these planks here, and we'll notice that we've got two guards. One of them's on the left-hand side. You can probably see his silhouette, and obviously we've got the one that we were just following. So as we do that, we're going to notice the one that was just the silhouette is just going to stand there whilst the other one moves on. Now we can creep behind him. We've actually got enough time here to give him a quick choke, because he's going to just bugger off around the corner without checking back. So what we'll do is we'll do that. We'll run in, but what is good to do, because he will look back actually, sorry, is just jump into the water with your body. The body will float, but he won't get noticed. And you've got enough time here just to quickly jump back up, and we'll just struggle to get back up again. Climbing out the water is sometimes a bit dismal in this game. If there's a slightly raised section, then Corvo won't climb up, but what we're going to do is again, we're going to try and find those planks, climb up the planks, we're going to walk around, and I'm actually going to take a bit of a lethal end to this approach here, just to simply get things done. But what you'd usually do is wait for these two to separate, take them out individually. But what I'm going to do here is take a rat, I'm just going to run up, I'm going to shoot him with a crossbow, and I'm going to hack him in the head, because everyone likes to kill a little bit. So from here we'll just check around the area, we're going to follow across this bridge of light, we're going to keep following towards that light, we've got away our weapons. And yeah, we're just going to keep following. Got to be really careful here not to fall into water, because it gets really annoying. So climb up there, wait until you're almost in line with it, follow towards the bright lights, turn around the corner, head around this way, and we're actually going to get our first shot of the outside line in, you know, actual world terms. Before we jumped out, we saw the prisons, we were jumping into the water, but there is actually a kind of a more steampunk look towards the whole thing. And so you get the first bit of that, but actually we're going to head straight outside now and get a nice big vista view again.
Quickly, I'm Samuel, and I work with some good people.
There is our lift out of here. So that concludes the playthrough of the first bit. This has kind of been a tutorial level. If this takes off, I will obviously do more levels, and I will take you through more options. Got plenty of ideas for this, plenty of fancy things I can do with the video to show you really cool things and player movements and things like that. But yeah, so if you liked it, please don't be afraid to give it the channel a subscribe and give the video a like, and of course just, you know, come around again for the next go. Peace out.